Yes, boss. See the topic, man. Never hang your hat where you can't reach it. You never heard that before? I'm glad I could run it, break it down for you, all of that there. Now I'm gonna just make it easy for you. Never hang your hat where you can't reach it. That's one of those things that has like multiple meanings. You know what I'm saying? So example, right? Never hang your hat where you can't reach it. That's like a don't set unrealistic expectations for yourself. So example, let's say you put a goal in your head like, yo, by the end of this year, I'm going to save over $80,000, but your job only pays you $40,000. That's an unrealistic expectation. That also falls into hanging your hat where you can't reach it. Because what people don't realize is if you tell yourself, yo, you want something, right? Or you set your heart out, yo, I'm going to make this goal happen, and it doesn't fall through, you're setting yourself up for what? Failure, especially if you don't plan the right way. You get what I'm saying? So you want to be a person who you use everything correctly and you don't burn yourself out trying to overextend yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to break all of this down, right? So example, another reason of never hanging your hat where you can't reach it also means never living above your mean. Excuse me. Like above your mean, like way out there. So like every 2 weeks you get paid. You probably seeing about like, let's say you seeing like $4,000, right? And you're like, you know what? Because I'm making the money now, I think I can afford that expensive apartment over there, and I can do this and I could go get that car. Just because you can afford it now doesn't mean you have to do it, because that's a form of hanging your hat where you can't reach it. So example into that, let's say you got a job and your job is paying you hella money, like you doing sales or something, right? You making good money, then all of a sudden you know what, man? I'm making good money now. I could go ahead and treat myself to that car that I want or that apartment or whatever. You got to sit down and think about it. If your job is paying you that right now and you cannot sustain that lifestyle, don't do it. That's an easy way to what? Cheddar bob yourself. Put a bullet right in your leg, because you're living above your means. You're putting yourself at risk for losing everything it is that you've ever worked hard for, accumulated. And as well as that, if you think about it, right? Hanging your hat where you can't reach it. I'm making this amount of money now. I could go ahead and do this. I could go ahead and do that. It's like, and it's common though. This is very, very normal. Whenever people come into like some form of something, they start probably doing things that they probably never had the ability of doing. But you got to sit down and think about it. Like, even though you got it right now, you want to what? You want to make it last. You get what I'm saying? So that's where investing comes into play. Not living too crazy as to where, let's say that job lets you go. Can you sustain this lifestyle, or can your savings stack up to what you need? Or you get what I'm saying? Are you able to find back another job that's going to pay for the lifestyle that you are living? Some people don't sit down and think about this stuff, because when you do things like that, you're like, oh, I need to live this type of lifestyle. I need to have this. It's a need basis, but it's not mainly necessary. It's not necessarily a necessity, but it's more of a want. You feel me? You don't really need it just to live life. And I'll give you an example into that, right? Remember, for those who've been watching me from day one, where was I working at? The cemetery. The cemetery was paying me some pretty decent bread, but it's not paying me like what water paying me. I could have easily been like, you know what, man? I'm getting some more money now. I could go ahead and upgrade and get that. Nope. Yo, how about maybe I could go get this? Nope. I'm not doing that, because here's the thing. I've been working hard for a long time. I want to see a bigger return. And what does that mean? A return on my what? On my investment. So if I know I'm making money now, I'm not going to tailor my lifestyle towards all of this. All the extras, rather than me go get a new apartment or go get a new car on payments, which I don't like payment. Let me go ahead. I need a new car anyways. Let me go get another car from the auction. Went ahead and did that. You know what? Let me take the extras that I don't need and put it into where? My brokerage. Because it's going to allow me that, God forbid, there's a rainy day, I can pull from my brokerage. I can borrow from my own leverage. The dividends I'm paying can pay me a certain amount of whatever it is that I can use it to pay a bill. You get what I'm saying? You want to use it wisely. So when the times do come when you're not able to provide for yourself, you know that you did what? You put up correctly. Give you another example into this, right? Besides the realistic ambitions, and the not hanging your hat where you can't reach a financial part. You have to know your limits. This is very important. Never hanging your hat where you can reach it. It's just, as I stated, just be truthful with yourself. It's just like, I'm going to give you another example. Let's say you go out with your friends, right? Your friend saying, yo, what you saying? You want another shot, another round? You know you probably tipsy. Yo, I got work in the morning or whatever. But you said, one more shot won't hurt. You already at your limit. That's another way of hanging your hat where you can't reach it. Because let's say you get to a position where, yo, you're the driver. You drove yourself there. You're not able to drive yourself back home. You put yourself at risk for a DUI. You put yourself at risk for an accident. Forget the DUI part first. That's a possibility. But to get roped by police in the night, pulled over, whoop, whoop, red and blue lights, nah, like, nobody's trying to deal with that. You get what I'm saying? You want to make sure you're covering all your grounds, crossing your T's, dotting your I's correctly so you don't put yourself in harm's way. And as well as that, besides putting your hanging your hat where you can't reach it, if you want things to last long for you, you want to use it correctly. You don't want to mistreat or misuse something like, because, I'm getting money now, let me mistreat this money or let me just use it how I want to and then cry about it later when you don't have it. You get what I'm saying? I've seen this story all day long. Nobody's perfect, but at the same time, you got to sit down and ask yourself, remember, yo, how did it feel when you were broke? Or how did it feel when you never had things that you wanted or you never had the things that you needed? Guess what? Just because you can sort of give it to yourself now, why not try and double down on, yo, how can I make this last, forever? You get what I'm saying? Sometimes some people just want to be the first to do certain things, and you got to understand this. I said it before, I'll say it again. You want to be the one who lasts the longest, dog. You want to be the person who, yo, when it comes down to this job is paying me good. How can I put these coins to use so they can work for me? Why do you think there's people out here who go and start businesses? Or, yo, let me take my money and invest it into stocks, mutual fund, index funds, some ETFs, something that's going to pay me back. So it's not all of my money is going to waste. You want to be a person who thinks smart, bro. You feel me? Next thing into that, right? Besides knowing your boundaries and your limits and making your money work for you. When you're being true to yourself, you're choosing not to set yourself up for failure. And this is very important. Being realistic with yourself is going to save you a heartbreak. It's going to save you a lot of things in life. And this is very true. Listen to what I'm saying and take my foolish advice. This has nothing to do with just money or decisions that you make. When you're true to yourself, right? Or you're being honest with yourself, you're choosing to what? Live in real reality. You know how much people out here? Man, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and go buy that Scat Pack. Knowing damn well you can't afford the payment. Or, yo, I know I could get that girl. I could take care of her. Yo, knowing damn well that's a girl of high maintenance. She gonna break your pockets. You gotta be real with yourself. When you're real with yourself, you're choosing not to set yourself up for disappointments. Remember what I teach you, dog. Expectations can lead to disappointments. Especially if the expectations you set are not realistic, you're about to be set up for failure, bro. You're gonna set yourself up for failure. Oh, you know what? I make $40,000 a year. How about trying to see, yo, let me see how I could start off baby steps. How can I save $200 a month? Or, you know what, I did $200 last month. Let me see if I could go for $250. Graduate yourself. You're not going to get to this point of, man, I went ahead and I saved this much amount of money and I need like 40,000 more, knowing that you don't even make that much. You have to be real with yourself. When you're not being real with yourself, you're choosing to lie to yourself. When you're lying to yourself, you're choosing to damn near cheddar bob yourself. You're setting yourself up for failure. And when you set yourself up for failure, what are you doing? You damn near damaging your own confidence, dog. Unrealistic expectations. Oh man, I'm going to be the next person to get drafted into the NFL. Are you practicing right now? No. When do you practice? Once a week. You better get that shit together. You want to go to the NFL? Be real with yourself. That's how some people get to the finish line and they like, man, damn it, bro, I never got to where I wanted to be. That's when niggas start pointing the fingers at everybody because they weren't what? They weren't being real with themselves. You didn't hold yourself accountable for the bullshit that you did. You always lied to yourself and set unrealistic ass expectations. Who you want to get mad at? You can't get mad at nobody but who? You. You feel me? Besides that, understand this in life, right? When it comes to not hanging your hat where you can't reach it, you want to be a person who you can think way down the line and see way down the line. Feel me? I'm going to give you an example, right? When I was in the cemetery, literally, the last raise that they gave me, it brought me to about $19. But I was getting overtime like that. I would always knock overtime every week. So the overtime and what? It takes the edge off. So me looking at an overtime check and I'm like, yo, bro, this is light. This ain't bad. I can still pay all of my bills with this. You feel me? When I got the water and I start seeing, yo, hey, this is your new pay. Hey, man, go ahead and look at your check again, bro. You just got another raise. Or, yo, you got a shift differential. I went from like 19 to like $25 in like 5-6 months. And I'm looking at this shit like, bro, I could have easily changed my lifestyle off of this. And this is while I'm still being a trainee. I'm getting paid $25 an hour. I'm like, bro, imagine when I get my license, this game over. And then endless overtime on top of that, it's a wrap. I could easily change my lifestyle to match how I was living now. But I started thinking about it. Even when I got over to the other side and I'm making good money, I was still able to manage and live like I'm living off of what, like $19, $20 an hour, bro. It didn't mean nothing to me. But now I start seeing something from me training my mind in that aspect and being more disciplined in that aspect. It allowed me to put money towards other things so I can invest, free up myself, take trips, do whatever it is that I want. You feel me? But think about it. If I was hanging my hat where I couldn't reach it, would I have the ability to even do certain things? If I was hanging my hat where I couldn't reach it, I couldn't have even went to friggin' DR in the summertime for my birthday. I would have never been able to go to Canada. I got another trip coming up. Like, I would have never been able to do all of these things. I would have never been able to just buy the friggin' car I just bought. You get what I'm saying? If I was hanging my hat where I couldn't reach it. So I'm telling you all of this to say this, right? When you choose to live within your means, you're choosing to be what? Real with yourself. You're choosing to be what? Honest. I'm not going to put myself in that predicament knowing damn well I can't afford it. That way, you don't got to be a person who needs a shoulder to cry on and somebody to listen to you in your sob stories because you made mistakes. You actually rolled the dice correctly. You feel me? With that being said, remember this. Words can help you. They can hurt you. But here on my channel, I want to uplift you because everybody's a champion. Nobody's a loser, man. Just understand this. Everybody has to go through the fire and learn from their mistakes. But the faster that you can learn and use your youth correctly, it can set you up for a brighter future so you don't got to be like some people out here who's suffering and bullshitting and they ain't really did nothing with their life. You get what I'm saying? 440 for the world, man. Peace.